So, Caitlin Clark, it has been revealed that Ice Cube offered her $1.5 million per game. And this is my favorite thing, is that the Big 3 will use Caitlin Clark in every bit of their promotion.
Caitlin Clark, a record-shattering phenom and crowd magnet, just made a decision that stunned the sports world and flipped the script on what it means to be a modern athlete. She turned down a jaw-dropping $15 million offer from Ice Cube's Big 3 league, a sum that would have paid her $5 million per game over just 10 appearances. For context, that's more money than most WNBA players would see in 60 years. The reaction? Relief across WNBA leadership. But not everyone was cheering. A wave of critics, some fans, and even a few fellow players took aim, questioning her motives, her priorities, and whether she fully grasped what she'd given up. But here's the thing, this wasn't about chasing checks. Clark made a clear, calculated choice grounded in loyalty, long-term vision, and an unshakable belief in the future of women's basketball. The real question isn't how she turned it down, it's why someone would walk away from generational wealth while earning a league salary that barely scratches six figures.
Caitlin Clark, did you turn down $15 million? Oh, that's a boss move. Oh, that's a crazy boss move. I understand. You got Nike deals, you got freaking PGA Golf Tour, Live Golf Tour, you got hockey sponsor. I know you got a lot going on, but to turn down 15 M's, unrivaled. If y'all thought a few million and some equity was gonna get her to show up and play in your league, you got it.
Ice Cube and his Big 3 league weren't just interested in Caitlin Clark, they were pulling out all the stops to get her. Their opening offer? A massive $5 million for just 10 games. That alone would have been a career-defining payday for almost any athlete, especially in women's basketball. But when it became clear Clark wasn't immediately sold, they escalated, fast. The offer ballooned to an eye-popping $15 million. That's $1. $5 million per game, more than 6 times the WNBA's annual max salary, which currently sits around $249,000. This wasn't a contract, it was a bold attempt to buy the buzz, the headlines, and the face of the sport. The Big 3 wasn't just recruiting a player, they were bidding for a phenomenon. The strategy was clear, pull her away from the WNBA and use her star power to instantly inject relevance into their own league. It was high risk, high reward, and most athletes would have jumped at the offer without a second thought. But Clark didn't flinch. She saw something bigger on the horizon, something that couldn't be bought. And what she did next turned the entire sports world on its head.
The $15 million, that's life-changing money for anyone, let alone a rookie athlete. So where did this unbelievable offer come from, and why on earth would Caitlin Clark turn it down? So the offer, as you guys can see on the article on the screen, was from the Big 3, the 3-on-3 basketball league founded by the one and only Ice Cube. And the first offer was already huge, a cool $5 million ball, but in a sign of just how desperate they were to get Clark, they tripled it, blowing it up to a massive.
Caitlin Clark didn't just decline the offer, she slammed the door shut. No hesitation. No drawn-out negotiation. No, let me sleep on it. Just a direct, unwavering no. It was a line in the sand, a decision rooted in something far deeper than money. This wasn't about rejecting wealth, it was about choosing purpose. Clark picked loyalty over luxury. She chose her fans over fame, and the long-term growth of women's basketball over a short-term windfall. That kind of clarity, in a world driven by paychecks and endorsements, is rare. Meanwhile, some players within the WNBA, both quietly and not so quietly, have voiced frustration over the attention Clark receives. But let's be honest, the spotlight she's under wasn't handed to her. She earned it with record-breaking performances and unmatched influence. Clark, for her part, isn't distracted by jealousy or drama. She knows exactly what's at stake. Her focus is on building something lasting, a league that will be better for the next generation because of the sacrifices she's making today. But here's the catch, that kind of decision doesn't land quietly. It set off a chain reaction inside the WNBA, a firestorm of opinions, power dynamics, and long overdue questions about how the league values its most impactful player.
Caitlin Clark. The Big 3 reportedly offered Caitlin Clark $15 million for 10 games. For 10 games. That is insane. That's wild. And it says she declined. That's a lot of chicken to turn down. I can't lie to you. I can't lie to you. I literally can't. I can't. That is insane. I don't know, bro. 15 million for 10 games. Whew. Woo.
I'm sorry, my precious CC said no. 15 mil to play in your Big 3 league? No, I don't chase the money. Money chase me. You hear me? At the end of the day, she is worth $1 billion. By the time her career ends, I'm telling you, all these other endorsement deals she have, and then make it make sense. Why was she playing a Big 3 against NBA players who are stronger than her, which can injure her? You hear me? She would be the smallest person on the court. That wouldn't even make sense. And then I'm thinking like, y'all probably would try to embarrass her and all of that, bro. Like, it's a lot of undercover hate going on.
The WNBA's internal reaction to the offer Clark received unfolded like a textbook case in emotional crisis, a rapid-fire sprint through the 5 stages of grief. First came denial. Surely their rising star, the most marketable athlete the league has ever seen, wouldn't seriously consider leaving. Not after everything she's done to elevate the brand. It just didn't seem possible. Then, the anger set in. Not directed at Clark, but at the sheer audacity of an outside league offering real, game-changing money, while the WNBA still struggles to push player salaries past the 6-figure mark. It felt like someone else swooping in to cash out on a player the WNBA helped build. From there, they moved into bargaining mode. League officials scrambled, working behind closed doors on creative ways to increase Clark's earnings, endorsement packages, marketing campaigns, bonus incentives. Anything to make staying more appealing without breaking the salary structure. Then reality hit. Hard. Clark could have made more in just 10 weeks than the combined annual salaries of an entire WNBA roster. That sobering math triggered a quiet wave of frustration, maybe even helplessness, as the league confronted the financial limits it was still stuck behind. But finally, acceptance took hold. And with it came a sigh of genuine relief. Clark wasn't leaving, not yet. She chose to stay. And in doing so, she gave the league the most valuable thing of all, time to catch up to her vision.
Caitlin Clark, you so much better than me. The WNBA would have never, hey listen, I would have never stepped foot on that court. $1.5 million per game. Bron don't even make that. And you turned it down for her contract in the WNBA, she gonna make like $400,000 in 4 years. That's the part that I don't really understand about WNBA players. They make so much bread everywhere else. They be making more bread in college. They make more bread overseas. They can make more in unrivaled, the Big 3. There's so many options, but they still be playing in the WNBA. I don't get it. Go on strike, bro. If there's money like this available, go get it, bro. Don't be loyal to a league that's not.
They're trying to destroy her from within, and it's the players. Realistically, I know we're out of time. WNBA last year was the first year in its like 25-30 year existence that it was profitable. Made $1 million. But it was the first time that it didn't lose money because the NBA supplements. Well, when Caitlin Clark comes to town, you have to go from the 8,000 seat WNBA arena to the 30,000 seat whatever arena across town because of ticket sales and all of the apparel and all of this stuff that's coming from Caitlin Clark, and you're just like, okay, but the league is totally destroying her, you know.
Beneath the surface of that relief, something far more toxic was brewing, a quiet but undeniable undercurrent of resentment. One respected voice in the basketball world didn't mince words. They called it what it was, flat-out jealousy. And you didn't need to dig deep to see it. The sentiment revealed itself loud and clear during the All-Star voting process. Clark, who led all players in fan votes and ranked third in media ballots, was inexplicably placed ninth among guards by fellow WNBA players. Not ninth overall, ninth just among guards. It wasn't just a snub. It was a statement. This wasn't about stats. It wasn't about performance. It was about pride. Some players clearly weren't ready to acknowledge what Clark had become, the driving force behind the league's most explosive growth in decades. Whether out of frustration, ego, or discomfort with her meteoric rise, the message from parts of the locker room was unmistakable. They'd rather downplay her impact than admit she's fundamentally changed the game. And yet, the numbers don't lie. The crowds, the ratings, the revenue, they all follow Clark. She didn't ask for the spotlight. She earned it. And in doing so, she's raised the bar for everyone, whether they like it or not.
If you want a good example of what it looks like when people are jealous of you, look at Caitlin Clark. She is undeniably a great basketball player. That is just a fact. Now, there have been a lot of great basketball players before her, and there will be after her. But what we do know is that she is getting a ton of recognition, and that breeds jealousy. When you shine bright and you're really great at what you do, people come for you more because you are great. Notice how much friction there is on the court. There is always someone going up against her. There's always people taking personal offense to her.
The gap between Caitlin Clark's actual salary and her true market value isn't just unfair, it borders on absurd. This season, she's earning just $78,000. That's not a typo. It's less than the price of some luxury SUVs, and a fraction of what male rookies in other leagues earn before even stepping on the court. Meanwhile, the numbers around her impact are staggering. Economists at a major university recently estimated that Clark generated $36 million in economic activity for just one city during her rookie year. And that's not league-wide, that's one market. She's reportedly responsible for 27% of the WNBA's total economic activity this season. Think about that, one rookie, accounting for more than a quarter of the league's financial footprint. She's driving more revenue than some small countries produce in a year, and yet she's being paid like she's running the night shift at a fast food chain. It's a cosmic imbalance, and it's becoming increasingly impossible to ignore. While the league celebrates its growth, much of that growth is being powered by a single athlete who isn't even allowed to benefit from the value she's bringing in. This isn't just a pay gap. It's a case study in how outdated compensation models can't keep up with modern stars who are rewriting the business of sports in real time.
The WNBA's jealousy of Caitlin Clark has never been more obvious as players vote her the 9th best guard. Yes, you read that right, bro. The WNBA just had their All-Star vote in return, and the players voted Caitlin Clark as the 9th best guard in the league. Mind you, this is the same Caitlin Clark that came in breaking every record. She putting up numbers that have never been done in WNBA history. She literally has the entire league on her back. Look down here. This is how many votes she got from the fans. Look, she got 1.2 million All-Star votes. Not only is that a WNBA record, but it breaks her own record from last year when she got 700,000 as a rookie. And this, look, for reference, the top 30 vote getters for the 2023 All-Star Game got 1.7 million.
As some WNBA players have taken to social media to leak their own contract details, an effort to stir conversation or reclaim a bit of the spotlight, Caitlin Clark has taken a different route. Quiet, grounded, unshaken by the noise. This is a player who just turned down a $15 million offer, and yet still jokes about not paying $10 for airplane Wi-Fi because, in her words, she's a little cheap. But that comment isn't just a moment of relatable humility. It speaks to something deeper, an uncommon level of self-awareness. Clark isn't chasing headlines or dollar signs. She's focused on the big picture, on building something that lasts. Her decision to remain in the WNBA, despite being drastically underpaid by any rational standard, says more than any Instagram caption or contract screenshot ever could. She willingly accepted a smaller paycheck not because she had to, but because she believed in the mission. In the growth. In the power of staying the course when every financial incentive was pulling her in another direction. That's not just maturity. It's vision, the kind that elevates an entire league.
Her endorsement deals must be pretty decent for her to willingly turn that down, because we know her WNBA salary is nothing to brag about. But for her to do that, I guess I look at it like this. If she were to have accepted that before she even stepped foot on a WNBA court, I could only imagine how they would have treated her. I don't even think she would have made it through half the season. She would have had a season-ending injury for sure. With how rough they were treating her as a rookie and fouling her and just being aggressive with her in comparison to other players, I don't think she would have made it through the season as a rookie. So I guess in a sense that may be a blessing in disguise. It's hard to say a blessing in disguise when you lose out on 15 M's, but nobody knows. That may have been a blessing in disguise.
Caitlin Clark's decision to turn down generational wealth didn't just make headlines, it quietly redefined the WNBA's entire business model. By choosing to stay, she didn't just raise the visibility of women's basketball, she helped transition it from a niche offering to a legitimate entertainment product, one that now commands the kind of national attention previously reserved for major men's leagues. Her impact was immediate. Clark's debut game pulled in 2.1 million viewers, the highest-rated WNBA broadcast in over 20 years. And that was just the start. Every game she touches becomes a marquee event. Tickets vanish. Headlines follow. TV networks scramble to adjust programming. Attendance records that had stood since the league's earliest days are falling fast. One franchise that barely attracted 81,000 fans over an entire season in 2023 surpassed that number within their first 5 home games after Clark joined the roster. That's not just momentum, that's a movement. She's not merely helping the WNBA grow. She's transforming its value in real time, and proving that with the right athlete, the right platform, and the right moment, women's basketball can compete on the main stage.
Yeah, I mean, obviously the meetings that are going to happen in Indianapolis are going to be really important. And, although I'm not our team rep or on the committee, like I'm still, trying to understand and engage as much as possible. Obviously, this is my second year in the league, but also this is like a very important time for our league and where it's going to continue to grow. So, I'm certainly looking forward to those meetings and being in them. And I think everybody in our league is to help these CBA talks continue to move forward. So, should be very important for us on Thursday.
Are you
Yes, I'll be there.
You've played an NBA.
When one of Caitlin Clark's games had to be moved from a small gym to a larger 2,300-seat arena, and still sold out, it became obvious, this wasn't just a basketball game. It was a full-blown cultural event. Families packed up their cars and drove across state lines just for the chance to see her play live. Kids showed up in Clark jerseys, eyes wide with excitement, lining up hours before tip-off. This wasn't just fandom, it was a movement. And suddenly, women's basketball was the hot topic in office break rooms, on sports talk shows, and across social media feeds nationwide. But if you want the clearest sign of Clark's impact, look at the merchandise. The WNBA saw a 236% spike in sales year over year. That's not a seasonal bump, that's an economic eruption. Jerseys, hats, gear, anything with the WNBA logo on it is flying off the shelves. All of it traces back to one player. One decision. Clark chose legacy over luxury, and in doing so, she didn't just change the headlines, she changed the bottom line. This wasn't about making more money for herself. It was about building a future for the league. And that future is now arriving faster than anyone imagined.
$660,000 is insane. I'm sure there are plenty of cards out there that have gone for more than that. One, it is her second year. What are we doing? Like, I get that the Caitlin Clark fanfare is the whole thing. I think she's a great basketball player.
The great irony of Caitlin Clark's sacrifice is this: by turning down $15 million, she may have paved the way for everyone else in the WNBA to earn more. Her decision to stay, to help build the league instead of cashing in elsewhere, has given the WNBA unprecedented leverage heading into its next collective bargaining agreement. And that leverage is powerful. Early projections suggest that maximum player salaries could eventually climb to $1 million per year, a 300% jump from current levels. For a league long hamstrung by budget ceilings, that kind of growth was once unimaginable. But now? It's suddenly within reach, and it's largely because Clark gave the league the one thing it desperately needed: momentum. When she made it clear she wasn't leaving, you can bet WNBA front offices exhaled like they just avoided disaster. Had she walked, it would have felt like the engine falling off mid-flight. Every television rights deal, every sponsor courting the league, every ownership group lining up to pay hundreds of millions for a new expansion team, all of it is riding on the wave Clark created. And if you need a reminder of just how unbalanced the current pay structure really is, look no further than her rookie card, which recently sold for $660,000 at auction. That's more than her entire 4-year WNBA contract. It's a wake-up call. One that proves the league can't afford to ignore the value its stars are generating, because Clark isn't just raising the bar. She's redefining what's possible.
She's smarter than a lot of people think at the end of the day, and I'm pretty sure she has a lot of stock options. You hear me? She's the face of the league. That lets me know y'all going out y'all way to get her to come play for y'all. Whatever y'all built, you know what I'm saying? And that's cool, but at the end of the day, her focus is the WNBA. Nobody can tell me that she ain't the face of the league. Matter of fact, since she turned it down, how about you go get Angel Reese? I know, cause she ain't worth nothing more than a Popeye's chicken sandwich.
At its core, this isn't really a story about money. It's a story about bold vision, and the rare courage to see beyond the immediate payday. Caitlin Clark recognized an opportunity to transform women's basketball from a struggling niche into a genuine entertainment powerhouse. And instead of walking away, she chose to stay and finish the job she started. Sure, some of her jealous peers grumble about sharing the spotlight, resentful of the narrative they couldn't create on their own. But Clark remains unshaken, locked in on building a legacy that will outlast all their careers combined. For now, the WNBA can breathe a collective sigh of relief. Their golden goose hasn't flown the coop. But make no mistake, the league now faces a critical crossroads. They must figure out how to properly reward the woman who single-handedly revived their fortunes, before another irresistible offer comes knocking. Because next time? Even Caitlin Clark's legendary loyalty might not be enough to counterbalance the hard truth of being valued at nearly $1 billion and paid like a recent college graduate. The panic may have eased, but the lesson remains crystal clear. Sometimes the most valuable player isn't the one demanding the biggest paycheck, it's the one willing to sacrifice personal gain to build something far larger than themselves. Caitlin Clark has shown us all that true champions aren't just made on the court. Sometimes, they're forged by walking away from the biggest payday of their lives, to chase something infinitely more valuable.